In the United States, there's a new family hierarchy developing at Mercedes-Benz. 2014 sees the introduction of the CLA, a compact front-wheel drive entry-level vehicle with a starting price in the $30,000 range. This means that the upcoming 2015 C-Class has room to grow, and in fact it will be larger with a more upscale interior and a higher starting price. So what does that mean for the outgoing model? Well, for starters, the current generation has been with us since 2008, and over the last 6 years has seen small incremental improvements, ultimately ending up with what you see here. Our tester is a C300, and because we're in the Northeast where snow happens, it's equipped with all-wheel drive, or what Mercedes calls 4Matic. The four-door sedan is the most popular body style, but depending on where you live in the world, there is also a wagon or estate version available, and in 2012 a two-door coupe made its debut. Exterior styling is typical Mercedes-Benz, but with sport models featuring a large three-pointed star at front and center and sporty wheels. Luxury versions have a more traditional grille and hood-mounted emblem. In 2012, an update was done that changed the shape of the headlights to these more aggressive units and added LED daytime running lights to keep up with the current LED obsession, especially by rivals like Audi. On the side, there are clean lines, and you really get a sense that this is a small car. In the rear, Mercedes' signature horizontal bars can subtly be found in the rather large taillight housings, but otherwise it's starting to look a bit dated. Inside, there's plenty of adjustments available to help you find just the right seating position. Materials are class competitive and ergonomics are generally pretty good. I didn't really care for the position of the HVAC controls behind the gear selector, but I like that the door panels have all the window switches arranged vertically so you can see them easily. Trunk space is similar to that of a compact car as well, but there's a decent amount of room whether you're kidnapping your friend or carrying your stuff with an official Globe rating of 5. Overall, it's a nice place to spend time, but isn't quite as exciting as a BMW 3 Series or as modern as an Infiniti Q50 or Lexus IS, all of which have the advantage of being all new within the last year or two. The upcoming 2015 should be a marked improvement. Space is decent for a compact car, especially for one with a rear-wheel drive chassis. If you didn't realize, this car is about the same exact size as a Honda Civic sedan, so despite what people commonly think, it's not large. Based on the C300 nomenclature, you'd expect there to be a 3.0-liter engine, but under the hood is a detuned version of the 3.5-liter V6 that can be found in many of Mercedes-Benz's other models. In this case, it makes 248 horsepower and 251 pound-feet of torque, linked out to a 7-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters, the only available option. This combination results in a 0 to 60 time of around 6 seconds, with fuel economy coming in at 20 in the city and 28 out on the highway. This is helped by a standard start-stop system, which will shut the engine down completely in traffic or at stoplights and automatically restart when you start moving, all while the accessories like your radio continue to work. Transitions are somewhat smoother than in the BMW 3 Series, but luckily the feature can be shut off at the press of a button if it should distract you too much or perhaps for when there's passengers in your car. Overall, while this is a nice powertrain, I do wish the exhaust note had a bit more lust to it. Out on the road, the C300 rides well. Its good steering and small size helps handling, but it still feels like a substantial car. Luxury versions ride a little bit softer and are quieter. Visibility out is good, and overall the car is right on par with others in the class like the Audi A4. If you want more performance, the C350 also comes with a 3.5-liter V6, but it delivers 302 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. If that's not quite enough, other variants like the C63 AMG, AMG Black Series Coupe, and the AMG Edition 507 all come with a 6.2-liter V8, making anywhere from 451 horsepower to a staggering 510. On the other end of the spectrum, the C250 serves up a 1.8-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that produces 201 horsepower and 229 pound-feet of torque, while returning a few more mpg than the base V6. Elsewhere in the world, there's a wider range of smaller displacement gasoline engines and even diesels, so check your local market. Driving a compact car, in the back of your mind you're always concerned about safety. Although the German car companies usually have a good reputation, it's worth noting that even though this is an older design, remember it debuted 6 years ago, it still performs well in the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's crash tests, except for the new small overlap test where it received a rating of marginal. That's only one step up from the worst rating of poor. It's also worth noting that the C-Class' biggest competitor, the BMW 3 Series, received the same exact ratings even though it's a brand new design. Meanwhile, Infiniti's Q50, also brand new, scored slightly better, earning an acceptable rating. We'll have to see how the Cadillac ATS and Lexus IS do in this important test, but in the meantime, the Audi A4 should definitely make you pause as it scores lower than all of them. As always, spend some time and do your research, including subscribing to our channel, where you can see videos of the cars that the Mercedes-Benz C-Class competes against.